Hey y'all, welcome back. It's the lipstick lady, which I don't even have any lipstick on anymore. I think I'll put a little on. There, now I'm the lipstick lady. I really do enjoy, I don't remember what color this is, but it's one of the red aspen ones when they first came out with it. Oh, getting old as heck. Well, heck, I can't even read what it says. I don't know, but it is. It is one of the red aspen ones, and I use this one pretty much. Well, just about every day. Every once in a while, I'll swap to one of the Avon ones that I have, but it's been a hot minute since I checked in with y'all and figured I really need to get back to doing this a little more, and so here we are. As you can tell, I got all my hair chopped off. It was down to about, let me see if I can show you, about to this section of my back. And living here in Texas, I'm tired of sweating. I don't like to sweat. So I'm like, I wear my hair up all the time, and then, of course, this year we've got a lot of humidity, and so my hair was just frizzy all over. I was over it. So I went in and told the lady, I said, I want a pixie. Here's a picture of kind of how I want it. Although this is, I will say, she did cut it a little shorter than what I had anticipated, but that's probably partially my fault because, you know, she held it up. She goes, about here. And I'm like, yeah, it'll grow back if it's too short. Don't worry about it. So it's a little shorter than what I would have probably wanted it to be. But, you know, hey, it will grow back. So, but I hope everyone's having a good June. It's hot here as usual. It's been stormy. It's been hard to kind of get out and work some days because it seems like every afternoon thunderstorms are rolling in, and I don't like to drive when it's raining out here because they're a little crazy. So once it starts raining, or like the one weather guy down here says, when thunder roars, go indoors. And so I go indoors when it's storming, and I try to stay here. And it has been like flooding rains when it comes. So, which today I went out and it looked like it was going to storm, but then, like usual, they call this the Aggie Dome. So it'll look like green glob coming for us, and then it just kind of disappears before it gets to us. Or it'll be coming across and we're here, and then it just kind of comes apart and either goes below or above, or it just misses us anyway. So they call it the Aggie Dome. And so I don't know what causes that exactly, but it does usually work. Although the other day I thought, well, it looks like it's going to storm, but you know, a lot of times it really doesn't. And I didn't make it home before she let loose, and she did storm. Had a little bit of lightning and thunder, but it was just the flooding rain that we got that, oh, I got home, I was soaked just running from the car inside. So, but, it was like that for the last couple days. Now today, it was supposed to be the same way, and, I see big clouds out there, but the big marshmallowy clouds, they're out there, but we'll see. It's gotten dark a couple times. It's kind of rained a little bit a couple times, but not enough to really like change any plans. I did go out dashing today, and I only had a few orders actually. It's, I don't know, 3:30, 4 o'clock, and I only had a couple orders since like noon, or actually no, 11. So it has not been a prosperous day by any means, as far as that goes. You know, it seemed like today it was problem people. Like I had one person that told me, in their notes, because when you go on Doordash, like when you get to the delivery itself, it'll have little notes if there's like, you know, leave it on the table by the front door, or, you know, ring the doorbell before you leave, or don't ring the doorbell before you leave, kind of thing, so that we know. Or if it'll say, you know, go to apartment building such and such, take the stairs on the left hand side, you know, just things like that that help us get the delivery to the right spot. Well, this person said building 3, it's across from the pool, and it's kind of hard to find, but it's directly across from the pool. And I'm like, okay, and I've been to that complex before. So I went, and yeah, building 3. Once I finally found, so many of these apartment complexes do not have they'll put numbers on, and they'll plant a tree in front of it, which might have been fine when the building was new, but now the tree is big and it blocks the number. Or they'll put carports up and the roofs are at the same angle as the plaque that has a number on it. So, you know, you're driving and you're trying to look over the roof to see what number is on the building so you can get it to the right spot. So today I kind of ran into that with that delivery, which she said it's building 3 across from the pool, kind of hard to find, middle of the complex, apartment number 612 or something, which I found kind of strange, because generally when an apartment number is like 612, it's usually in the 6th building. If it's 3, whatever, it's in the 3 building. A lot of times, I don't know if it's just the apartment complexes here that are like that, but a lot of times, like if it says 612, a lot of times it's the 6th building, the 1st floor, and it'll be like the 2nd apartment is what the numbers stand for. But not all are like that, because I know, like, for instance, where we live, the numbers are just, there's a letter, you know, building A has X amount of apartments, and then B has like the next 16 or whatever it is apartments. So ours doesn't follow suit with that, and I know there's other apartment complexes the same way. So when this one said building 3, apartment 612, I thought, oh, okay, it must be kind of like one of those other apartments. So I got there and I'm like, okay, I'm seeing the 3 building, but these look like they're all 301, 302, 303, 304. So I messaged the customer and I'm like, is it the 3 building or the 6 building? She said, no, it's the 6 building. And I'm thinking, okay, well, you had the 3 building on there. So I backed out and drove down to where I found the 6 building, which was not across from the pool. The 3 building was across from the pool. The 6 building was in the middle of the complex, but was not near the pool anywhere. And so I got out, and of course, the sidewalk down the one side of the building was for certain numbers, and on the other side of the building was another sidewalk with different numbers. Well, when you get out, you park in the parking spot. You don't know, is the apartments on this side the number you want, or is it on this side? So I just got out and I thought, well, I'll just go down here and see if I see 612, and if not, I'll come back, go around the building and find 612. And I hear, hey, lady, man. And I'm like, what's that? And I turn around. She goes, I wondered where you were going. I'm like, well, I'm trying to find 612. So I gave her, I said, well, your directions said building 3. No, it's 6. And I'm just like, okay. Customer's always right. So I said, okay, well, thank you. Have a great day. And got in my car and left. And I got another order. So, and that one was at Jersey Mike's. And so, you know, some of the other orders that came in were just ridiculously stupid, you know, the person lives 10 miles from the restaurant, here's $2. Well, your food's going to sit there a while, honey, because nobody's going to bring it to you for that, unless they might be new and might not. No, they have that decline option. But, so this Jimmy John's one came in, and I went there, and I think I had another one in the, oh, I did have another one in before the lady, the snippy lady. The first one was a lady, you had to go down, you had to go around the building and park and go in and go up all these stairs to take her McDonald's, which she must have been really hungry. It's mowing day here. Lawnmower just went by. She must have been really hungry because, like, I handed her her McDonald's bag and she was just ripping into it. She's like, oh, thanks for bringing it up the stairs. And I'm like, no problem, my pleasure. Have a great day. And out I went. Then I got the lady with the building 3, apartment 612, which actually was building 6, 612 apartment. So then I left there and I got the offer for Jersey Mike's, and I don't mind, picking up from there. So I make my way over to where our Jersey Mike is, and I go in and I gave him the customer's name and said, I'm here to pick up a Doordash order for so-and-so. He goes, oh, somebody already picked that one up. I said, oh, because that, if you've never Doordashed, you don't know that's a thing. People will come in, and I'm not even sure how they know what name to give the employee, or if they can see it on the receipt. I don't know. I'm blind without my glass. Well, I'm kind of blind with my glasses some days. So for me to see the little print on a receipt on the other side of the counter on the shelf, I'm not that good. But apparently there are people that are. I do notice more and more restaurants are turning the bags so the receipt is on the opposite side. And that probably does help out, because what people will do is they'll come in and say, hey, I'm here to pick up a DoorDash for Angela. And, oh, yep, we've got one right here. They give them to the DoorDasher, and the DoorDasher makes their way out, and chances are they might not even be a DoorDasher. Or on the DoorDash app, if you don't hit that that you picked up the order, and you have to take a screenshot of the receipt and then hit confirm pickup. If you don't do that, you can say the order wasn't ready, and meanwhile you got the bag of food in your hand. Nope, the order's not ready. You punch that in, and DoorDash says, oh, the order's not ready yet. We'll send it to another driver. That driver goes in, and they're like, oh, somebody was here 10 minutes ago and picked up that order. So it does happen. I've had it happen a few different times, and it's very frustrating, because you might be on the other side of town, you drive over thinking, oh, this is a decent order. You get in there, and they're like, oh, somebody picked that up 15 minutes ago. You're like, darn, because you have paid nothing then, and you drove across town, plus that whole time you were driving over, you haven't gotten any other offers because you're already like on an assignment. So, it's kind of a pain when people steal the orders like that. So, I know I'm rambling, but the Jersey Mike guy, when he's like, oh, somebody already picked that up, and I'm like, okay, I'm not surprised. He goes, oh, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just teasing you. By the way, I like your Bucky shirt. I'm like, okay. And he's like, do you want a drink? You want a free drink? I'm like, no, thanks, that's fine. I'll just take the order and go. And so, I think maybe he felt a little bad for doing that, because it must have been the look on my face. I told him, I said, nothing really surprises me anymore. And I said, I would have just chalked it up to, well, it's part of the day today. So, I think maybe he didn't realize I didn't find it as humorous as he thought he was being funny, but my order was there, and I got it, and when delivered, it wasn't bad, except for people that don't mow their grass, and the grass is this stinking deep, and I'm like, maybe you need to, hire somebody to mow your grass if you can, because I know some people can't mow their grass, and it wouldn't bother me so much, except for, I know I have never seen a snake, because we're in the city. I have never actually seen a snake here, but I know on Facebook, because of all the rain we've been having lately, at the Kroger, there was a big old fat snake in the parking lot a week or two ago. Somebody had shared it on Facebook. And yesterday, Dave took Izzy out for a walk, and he came and he goes, oh, down by our old apartment, there's 3 dead snakes right out behind there. So I'm a little creeped out by having to walk through, grass that's like ankle high, because I'm thinking, who knows what's living in this. So, kind of creeps me out. But they got their Jersey Mike. It was uneventful, and I think that's the only 3 offers I've had today. But then I came home, and the other day, because I do have an eBay store, if y'all don't know that, I have an eBay store, which is what all of this stuff back here, plus my closet's full of product that I sell on eBay. And I had a coffee cup that I bought. Actually, Dave had picked it out, and so I bought it. And we have this thing with, if we're out thrifting, we like coffee cups. So if it's a coffee cup that looks like something we would like, or, looks like it'd be something that would sell, we'll pick it up if it's a decent price. Because worst case scenario, we end up with another coffee cup, which we both have this thing for coffee cups, apparently. So I bought this coffee cup, and he didn't realize what kind of coffee cup it was. It was like a Vietnam woman's memorial thing. He goes, oh, after we got it home and I was listening, he goes, what is that? And so he goes, oh, I didn't know that's why this thing, thought it was like a memorial. He thought it was like a 9/11 memorial type thing. And so it wasn't, but we got listed. Well, it finally sold. And I was brave. I'm like, cool, it sold. I'd marked it down the price a little bit, and it sold, and so I was happy with it. And so I shipped it out like May 27th. I got the order it must have been either May 26th at night or in the morning of the 27th. Because soon as I get an offer or get an order, soon as it's paid, if I haven't already been to the post office or UPS or wherever it's shipping, if I haven't already gone, then I hurry up and pack, process it, get it packaged and labeled and out the door so that it gets out right away so the customer gets it sooner. So May 27th, it got shipped out, and it was through UPS, I want to say Ground Saver or whatever, where I think it goes, if I understand correctly, you drop it off at UPS, but then somewhere along the lines, the Postal Service actually is the one that delivers it. So, I went ahead anyway. I got this mug shipped out to the person May 27th. June 2nd, I get up in the morning, and a lot of times one of the first things I do is I look to see what, if I have any sales on eBay or if I have anything needs my attention. And I had a message from the person, and I thought, oh no, because a big scam that goes around, people buy something on eBay, like a coffee cup is a good example. They'll use AI and make it look like it's got a crack in it, or a chip out of it, or it came broken, or, and then they request a refund where actually there's nothing wrong with the product. They just AI generated one to look like there was a problem. So I thought, well, what's the dilemma with this? Well, the customer said, well, I had the wrong address on my eBay, so I need to buy another cup, or you need to send it to my new address. And I said, well, I thought, well, let me look this up. So I'm like, well, I sent that out like almost a week ago. May 27th, I sent it out, and this was June 2nd. And so I'm like, well, I've already shipped it out. Have you checked with the post office? Or because when I looked on the tracking, it had not been delivered yet. So I thought, well, maybe they could catch it, or maybe they can just go to their old post office or call the old post office and get the right ad. However they wanted to do it. Well, they're like, well, UPS doesn't deliver to where I live. I'm like, well, I'm sorry for your luck. I shipped it to where you said it needed to go to. And they were like, well, no, you need to refund my money or get the package back and ship it to me. And I'm like, no. For one thing, how am I supposed to get the package back from UPS? And when I looked, so I go on UPS and I look, and they've been trying to reach this customer to be able to deliver it to them. And they haven't had any luck. They've been doing that since June 1st, been trying to reach the customer, which today is June 4th. So the past whole week, they've been trying to reach this customer. And the customer is just like, no. So they opened a claim saying they never got the package and they want a full refund. Well, after the 3 deliveries I had today, I'm going to admit I was a little cranky, and I was just like, no, this is not going to, I will close that eBay store down if that's what eBay's going to try to pull. And at first I wasn't really mad. I mean, I was kind of mad at the customer, I will say. But I thought, well, I will call. I tried doing the eBay chat thing. Well, it's just AI. And that kept going back to, well, if the customer hasn't received it, then you should consider giving them a refund. I'm like, they haven't received it, but it's because they gave the wrong address is why they haven't received it. I can't seem to get anything through UPS because UPS is saying, we have the package, we're ready to deliver it. We just don't know where this customer won't respond. So I'm like, okay, so then I'm getting a little mad, and then I try to get a hold of eBay. Finally, I give up because it's all just AI junkery that they've got on there. Finally, I find a phone. Well, it says like they can call me, and I'm like, no, I'll call you. Because Lord only knows when you're going to call me. And if I'm out on a delivery, if I don't know the phone number calling me, I don't answer it. Plain and simple. And especially if I'm on a delivery. If I'm on a delivery, even if my kids call me, I usually ignore it unless they call and call and call. Then I, think it's something important. But if it's just a normal call, I won't answer it until after the delivery. Then I will call them back. So I thought, well, I'll just call eBay and get this handled. Let them know, hey, I don't know what the deal is. The customer, because then the customer tried saying they changed their address on eBay, wasn't able to change it on my store. Hello, my store is part of eBay. If you changed it with eBay, it's changed with my store because I don't have like a separate book thing, it's not like I save addresses over here and eBay has separate ones. No, everything, I print the label off. It comes from eBay. eBay tells me, this is the customer. This is where it gets shipped. I click the buy the label. eBay processes the payment. Actually, they take it out of what I have coming for the product. They take it out of that and process it. I print out the label, package it up, slap the label on, out it goes. So I'm just like, oh, now it's my store doesn't have the right address, and they can't change the address in my store, but eBay, they could. So I'm like, okay, so I'm taking, screenshots of all these conversations with the person. And they're like, well, you just need to refund me my money or get the package back and resend it to my new address. And I'm just like, so by then I'm like, okay, I need to take an Advil or Tylenol because I'm starting to get a headache at this point. I was feeling a little bit ticked off by this point. And so anyway, after going through all that, I Googled it, and according to Google, it says I was not in the wrong and that I should not have to refund it, that it is customers' responsibility to to make sure they have the correct delivery address on file for things to get shipped. It's not UPS's fault. It's not eBay's fault. It's not the seller's fault. The buyer should have made sure. And, if it was, the package was coming back to me, once I got the package back, I would have had no qualms with refunding the customer, and I would just put it back up for sale again. That person wanted it. Somebody eventually would have wanted it. I didn't have a problem with that. It wasn't like it was a big amount. It was like $13 and something. But it was just the point that, okay, this person, once I refund them the money, then they'll get a hold of UPS and say, oh, here's where you can deliver it. So in the meantime, UPS is going to deliver it to them. I've already refunded it, so I'm out the money and the product. That is not right. So I'm just kind of waiting on eBay, because then I went on and I filed a thing for the customer. I've never had to do that before, but I can file a thing where they're like fraudulently trying to get an order. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. After I thought, well, maybe, it'll be fine. But eBay ticked me off because when I found a phone number, I had to get the code to prove it was me and go through all the thing. Now, this was at 2:30 in the afternoon on Thursday. It says they're open from 5:30 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. on their website thing. So I know, like, Texas time is, an hour off from Michigan time and Florida time and that. But we're different time than California by a couple hours. But not like 12 or 13 hours off. eBay thing, after I get through all the thing, you've called during non-regular business hours or something like that. So, and then they hang up on you. And I'm like, so I tried it twice. I waited a little bit. I tried it again. And eBay, you can't get through. You can't call eBay as a seller, apparently, because the number, after you go through all the rigmarole, and they tell you, maybe recorded, for training things. That's fine. I have no problem with that. I just wanted y'all to know, this customer, what they're doing. And so eBay just, obviously doesn't answer calls or isn't open their normal business hours that they have listed. So I don't know. So I've just had a very trying day today, I guess you could say. It's actually been a very trying couple of weeks, quite honestly. Seems like it's just been one thing after another. People here just irritate me. Not everyone, I shouldn't say, but, a lot of people are just been irritating me, but I'm trying to make the best of it. We got a new apartment. We really hated the last one we were in, and so we managed to get an upgraded one. And we both really like our apartment. We do. We like the apartment. We have great neighbors where we're at. Although one straight across from us already moved out, and the one above us, I think, is moving out next month. So I'm a little apprehensive about who's going to move in across from us and who's going to move in upstairs. But fingers crossed we get, some decent people that move in. But, when you live in an apartment, that's just one of the things you don't have control over. People are always coming and going. At the end of every month, you see, a slew of, a slew of U-Hauls here and there, people moving. Now the end of May, I have never seen so many people moving out. It was like all over the place. Every building had just trucks and trailers and U-Hauls, and one of my best friend here in the complex, she lived down by our old building, and she moved out, and her little dog was Izzy's best friend, or is Izzy's best friend, and so now Izzy still wants to go down there, and her friend Twinkie isn't there anymore. I have to tell her, Twinkie moved. Twinkie's got a yard now. So, but she was down there looking for Twinkies. How Dave noticed the 3 snakes out behind our old apartment. Oh, your girl here, she don't do snakes. I don't do anything that's creepy crawly. I don't like spiders, don't get me wrong. But I really don't like snakes either. And to know they were out there, because I thought, when Dave told me that, and when I walked Izzy, after that, I looked and I'm like, ew. Because he said the birds were picking. Well, there was only one left when I walked down there. But I could still see it. I was like, oh. And just thinking, all the evening walks I've taken her out. And Izzy, last June, Izzy got real sick on us. And she got sick on us in June. And I think it was like maybe a month or so later, she got even sicker. And she actually got pancreatitis. And with that, she was having to go potty like every hour, around the clock. So I was getting up every 1 hour. Sometimes we'd get an hour and a half, 2 hours. I'd get up, take her out, I had to go potty. She was really sick. And it was, of course, dogs are like kids. They get sick on the weekends, at the beginning of the weekend. So you have to wait till Monday, because Lord knows how expensive an pet ER is here, because you can't take them to the college. And so, and I kept thinking, I tried different, look online. Okay, let's try pumpkin. Okay, let's try just chicken breast, nothing on it, and some rice, and nothing was working. So she actually did a little better. I remember she did a little better like that Monday. So I put off calling. Tuesday, she seemed a little bit better yet. And then Wednesday, she woke up and she was real sick. So I called the vet and said, can you please get us in today? And they got her in, found out she had pancreatitis. She got treated and she's been okay ever since. But when she was sick, I was out there in the middle of the night walking. And actually, from all the rain we've had, that grass, they mow like once a week. And actually, I think it's been going on like once every 2 weeks, because it's like the grass was getting tall and going to seed. And I think, okay, that kind of creeps me out, because these were 3 baby snakes, which means there's probably a mama snake somewhere and a whole bunch of siblings around here. And some of these snakes, well, I don't know, maybe all snakes do, but I know like the rat snakes and stuff, which aren't technically poisonous, but let me tell you, when those suckers drop on this girl, it's going to be deadly, because I'm going to be dead right then and there. But they can crawl in trees. I learned that when we lived in Florida. So I don't know, but it's just been a trying time lately. And so I figured I'd hop on here and just kind of give you all an update on what's going on in the Lipstick Lady land. And yeah, that's, I guess that's where I'll leave it off for today. I hope everyone watching this is doing well. It's I don't know. I see blue skies, but I see puffy marshmallowy clouds, and then I see some darker clouds. So I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna rain or if it's just gonna clear up. I did on my Miles in the Mimi Mobile is my second channel, and that's a channel where I just do like driving, different areas around here that I drive. If I think it's something that's going to be interesting, I'll turn the phone, start the recorder and just video that. Well, the other day I was out dashing and I knew the storm was coming, and I had already got the alert on the radio on the way to I had 2 drop-offs at that time. And on the way to the first drop-off, I got the alert. And it was for a severe thunderstorm warning. But it wasn't actually for here. It must have been a county road nearby. It was within the listening area. Oh, I'm sticking to the chair. But I thought, well, and it was getting kind of dark off to the one way. And so I did my delivery, and on my way to the second delivery, I noticed, which was only a few miles away, I'm looking over and I'm thinking, my gosh, it's getting dark over that way. The sky was just getting blacker and blacker and blacker. And so I kind of had a feeling we were going to get something out of that one. So I hurried up. Finally, I got to the drop-off, dropped it off, and the wind By the time I got to the second drop off, the wind was picking up and it had dropped. It was 94 degrees on my way to the first drop off, which the whole drop off area from where I picked up the last order, had to drop it off at drop off one and then go to drop off two. It was probably only within like 5 miles of the whole thing. It had dropped. It was 94 degrees according to my temperature on my car. By the time the wind had picked up, I turned the camera on. I got home and ran into the storm. By the time I got home, which was probably another 5-6 miles, it had dropped from 94 down to 75. The cold front had come through and it dropped, which is kind of nice. It's only been in the 80s yesterday and today, upper 80s, but it's like 95% humidity. So 85, 86, might as well be 200 out because it's still hotter than heck, which this girl doesn't do the heat very well. With my thyroid gone, I don't do really good with the really cold. I don't do really good with the really hot, and I'm just kind of over the whole thing. Ready to move on to winter where I can have some comfortable temperatures. I'm okay with wearing a jacket or a hoodie or long sleeves. I'm okay with it. So, but anyway, I'm sorry. I'm just rambling on. I haven't talked to y'all in a while, and now you're stuck with me. So, again, I hope everyone's having a great day. I am going to see if there's any more dashing to be had out there today. Try to make a little more money and try to get this video uploaded for you. But have a great day. Hopefully I won't be gone as long. I'm going to try to be better about getting on here and chatting with y'all and not just hiding out in the closet. Well, not the closet. I hide out in my office when I'm home. So, which actually is nicer than a closet. Although some houses do have really nice closets. My son and daughter-in-law's house has a really nice closet. I would use it for an office. Just saying. But anyway, have a great rest of your Thursday, everyone. And I will talk to you again real soon here on my next video. Bye.